Does shyness and fear keep you from reaching your true potential? Consider a young man whose life was defined by a debilitating nervousness. He moved through his days apologizing for his own shadow, keeping his head down and desperate to avoid attention. Predators naturally sense hesitation. A group of cunning merchants identified his meekness, overwhelmed him with aggressive demands, and easily stole his father's entire inventory of salt. The fallout was swift. Upon discovering the loss of their livelihood, the father erupted into a blinding rage, fiercely berating the boy for his failure to stand his ground. Fear acts as a beacon. It is a quiet, internal feeling that broadcasts an active vulnerability to the outside world, inviting external destruction right to your doorstep. In the devastating silence that followed his father's outburst, the boy wandered away from his village, slowly walking alone toward the churning, dark currents of the nearby river. His spirit was fractured. He looked at his inability to protect the salt and concluded that his situational panic meant he was a person of no value. Standing at the muddy bank, he made a grim calculation. He decided to step into the dark water, ending his life to finally escape the burden of his perceived failures. Unaddressed anxiety carries a terrifying momentum. Left unchecked, a minor social discomfort festers, escalating until it collapses a person's entire sense of self-worth and potential. As his foot hovered over the rushing water, a rough hand grabbed his shoulder. An old man yanked the boy back onto solid earth. The old man looked into the boy's terrified eyes and offered a different perspective. He explained that this crippling fear was a temporary sickness of the mind, a curable condition rather than a permanent character flaw. The cure, however, would require a harsh medicine. The old man demanded that the boy complete 3 highly specific, terrifying tasks if he ever wanted to rid himself of this paralysis. The logic of this prescription lies in its mechanics. It forces a radical shift from internal, self-destructive rumination directly into immediate, undeniable physical action. This 3-tiered pyramid illustrates the plan's social friction. The bottom tier, speaking to strangers, forces confronting the unknown. The middle tier, teaching children, escalates friction by requiring authority. The highest peak, apologizing to his father, represents ultimate vulnerability, facing his deepest failure. When the boy began these tasks, his execution phase was agonizing. In the seconds immediately before approaching a stranger or speaking to a child, his heart raced and his palms sweat. Yet, a curious psychological shift occurred the moment he opened his mouth. As he actually performed the actions, the suffocating tension evaporated. He spoke, he survived, and the world did not end. The anticipation of a terrifying act is almost always an illusion. The dread you feel beforehand is more exhausting and damaging than the reality of performing the act itself. When the boy returned to the riverbank, his posture had changed. He stood upright, made direct eye contact, and spoke with a grounded cadence. He looked back at the person he was just days ago and saw that the paralyzing fear was nothing but a ghost manufactured entirely by his own mind. Confidence is not an innate gift bestowed at birth. It is a resilient muscle. There is only one way to build that muscle. It must be forged by repeatedly and deliberately stepping outside of your comfort zone. The external world is blind to your internal anxieties. It cannot see your racing heart or hear your doubting thoughts. Society only reacts to how you choose to present yourself. Do not let a mental illusion dictate your value. Refuse to let fear convince you that you are weak. Take one step out of your comfort zone today. Till then, stay patient, stay grateful, and keep moving forward in life.